Hey, it's Steve Barcello from the Cryptozoology Paranormal Museum. Most of you guys that follow me know the routine. We do a lot of investigations. We obviously into the cryptozoology and paranormal, ufology, spook lights, a little bit of everything. I have a background in journalism, working for the New York Daily News. Started there as a photographer, videographer, and moved along. And anyway, but I came down to North Carolina basically to semi-retire, and then because of my interest in cryptozoology here and my Bigfoot sightings, it kind of spun off from there, and that's how I somehow, just to cut to the short, ended up with a museum. Nothing I was planning on doing, not the sort of thing most people decide to do in retirement. Anyway, that being said, we got a lot of publicity, a lot of news. Matter of fact, I got someone coming in today is the 29th. Matter of fact, it's my birthday. The 31st, I got another reporter and photographer coming in. He always stopped by. They're going to come back out of Raleigh, and I don't even remember who they worked for at this point. Got so many people coming through, which is good. It's good for the town of Littleton and stuff. And but anyway, get to the short. MetaZoo. Mike reached out to me ages ago. This is, I guess, 4 years ago now. Read about the Kickstarter. I'm not into card games, never have been. Well, anyway, they reached out to a lot of the museums and people to get his brand going with doing the cryptozoology end. And he sent me a bunch of stuff. He actually sent me an email. It was the middle of COVID, and I just kind of blew it off. Next thing I know, I get a box in the mail, and it has all this crap in it. It has a bunch of cards, and I wish I should have had the stuff here as props, but Kickstarter boxes. I make some phone calls, eventually end up reaching out, talking to Mike, find out what it is. And I'm interested. At minimum, even though I really like the art, I've never been into this sort of stuff, Pokemon or anything. I just thought it was cool. And I figured at minimum, it's a revenue stream. Maybe I can bring some more people in, maybe some of the stuff will sell. I don't know. I didn't even know about how the game's played. Still don't know how to play the game. I guess now, what's the point? But as you guys know, a letter came out today, and basically Mike's saying that the place is going to be, they're shutting down the game. So I got in early. Like I said, he gave me the stuff, and I really, I kind of, maybe I've drank the Kool-Aid. Drinking Kool-Aid. Actually, it's a Bloody Mary. But I really thought it had the potential to go places. And I think it does. I mean, people are going to think I'm crazy for saying that. I think it still can be saved. I think a lot of bad decisions were made. I think Mike was being too much of a good guy, being too much of a friend to people, and not clearing house when he should have as the place grew. I mean, a business is a business. Bringing friends and family in can always be a big mistake. It's rare for any of that to work. And I'm not going to get into names or anything like that, but there's always telltale signs when you've got somebody, there's anything going on in the business where you're favoring one person over another for whatever reason. You know, your relationships with people, that just does not float. It does not work in business. Never will. But so it's a shame. So the letter came out today, basically saying that they're folding, they're closing it down. He does mention in the letter that he's apparently, if someone buys the IP and moves on with it, which I'm hoping someone does. It's a shame though, as we know, a bunch of artists left recently, and that was a real concern for me. I have a lot of personal art I've gotten from some of the artists. I've actually had some of the artists actually have done artwork for me, like one of the original comics. I actually did an advertisement. There was one comic, we got ads in it, and I kicked myself. Actually, Andy's the one that was talking to me back then, and I kicked myself for not doing a full page ad and just doing a smaller one because money was tight. I wasn't sure what it was going to cost. And Peppa Lucas, did the actual artwork, did an amazing job incorporating things from the museum, a doll, some of the other cryptics from the area. But I've been there with them. I kind of enjoyed this, and I've made a lot of mistakes not understanding the value and the popularity of TCGs. Didn't even know what the hell a TCG was when I started all this. And I ended up getting sample cards. I mean, a little bit of everything. I mean, I've got tons of stuff, which I think you're going to see. I know I'm rambling. I'm all over the place. I've been busy here. If I show you just some of the paperwork, I'm old school, so I've been going through tons of stuff and some videos I'm doing for the crypto and getting on the road. And then I literally was in here running the museum when the message came out from Mike. And it kind of blew me away. So first thing I did, I just did an interview with Mike, which I'll put the thing in, about 2 months ago. And I reached out to him. Whenever something's happening, I try to reach out and do a sit down with him, via Zoom. And he usually ends up getting, he's busy, so it tends to be, we say, let's do this date at this time. Then it usually gets pushed off and pushed off. Either, most of the time him, sometimes even me. Same thing with this one. We were doing we had the dates and times set up. And actually this time I was going through Bob. So it was a little more organized. And but basically it got pushed off a couple of times. Then it turns out that's when the letter came out from Mike, basically saying how over the next 3 months they're going to change things. They're going to cut back from doing all this frilly stuff. They're going to concentrate on core sets and basically doing collecticons and doing events like our museum events, and concentrating on TCG, the stores, the brick and mortar places, and stuff like that. And so we had a good conversation, a little over an hour, discussing a little bit everything. We always get along. We always have a good conversation. So I was hopeful. But then after that was kind of radio silence. And you guys know there's a lot of the YouTubers, and I used to do a lot more MetaZoo videos. I haven't done one in a while. And but they got into this, a lot of the YouTubers have just kind of disappeared. Now almost, I would say, 90% are negative. And that's the way, but negative stuff. Yeah, I was a journalist. If it bleeds, it leads, And negative stuff, definitely gets numbers in. And I try not to go that way. I'm kind of not happy about this whole thing coming out with the pulling the plug on this. I think there's a lot more behind it. Now there might be financial problems there. I don't know. None of my business. I'm not a stockholder or anything like that. There are no stockholders, but But a lot of us are in some ways because we've invested deeply in product. In my case, I'm not a player. I'm a collector. And matter of fact, when I edit this, I'll throw some pictures in. I just had a group of people come in the museum. I still have MetaZoo stuff in here. I sell stuff. For the most part, I'm giving stuff away. I'm here to promote. I just had some women come in, and I actually gave them some of the pre-configured boxes so they could learn to play. Forever handing cards out. Even just to kids. I'm always trying to bring the next generation in. It's just, I feel like that's kind of my thing. Actually, I was just down recently at Lizard Man Museum and brought them a card they can put up there, and got some pictures of them. And it was actually a graded card. I don't remember now. It was a 9 or something. But the Lizard Man card. I think it was it wasn't Kickstarter. I think it was first edition. But but that's out of my stock. That's my stuff. Giving away, promoting. I try to do the right thing. So, like I said, I'm just disappointed to see the way this is going. Once again, I know I'm kind of beating around the bush here. I think there's, like I said, maybe I'm delirious. I think there's still a chance if the right person jumps in and grabs this and goes back to the core. Go back to what the original stuff was. I don't have some of the dark cards here. I wish I did. I was just up at Pope Lake when I did Crypticon. And thank God I was there for that. Meeting some of the Jet Yates there doing her amazing job. I always get some artwork from her. And but we actually went to a Poplick Bridge, and I held up the Poplick black sample card against the bridge. And actually Bob posted it on the Instagram. I'm always there. I'm always trying to tie everything in. Plus, it's not just I always believe in sharing the wealth if I can, and it is beneficial to me too. If I can bring more people in over to look at the museum, or someone who's just into playing the virtual world, or I can bring them into the reality world and our world where we actually go out looking for items and doing research and doing investigations and interviews and the whole bit. So I kind of hate to see this little niche go away. And once again, I don't want to go into what speculating what happened and why it went this way. I think it was a combination of things. One of the things I did mention to Mike when we had the last interview, which like I said I'll post in here, was this whole Hello Kitty thing. I just didn't see that. I mean, when you've got cards that have, you've got dark dark stuff there, which is what kind of attracted me. I'm not looking into something seriously sinister, but you want that crowd. It's an adult crowd, and I think when they went down to this Hello Kitty, which I have no interest in, I didn't touch any of that stuff, which is probably a good thing. And I mean, I couldn't even tell you who they are, who these little characters are, but it's catering to I don't know. I'm probably off on this. I'm probably going to yell at for this. Like teenage girls. I mean, maybe some males, but I mean, I think it was like a very niche crowd that's totally different from what MetaZoo was based on with the cryptozoology in. So now you're going into, legends and talking about the all these different cryptics and stories that go back for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years, and now we're going to deal with some kind of huge company. I mean, it's a huge IP, but the tie-in I just don't see. I don't understand what it was, and apparently a lot of people didn't, because they came out and then TCG and I guess TCG and eBay are the same, and they just dumped it. I mean, I think they're God knows what's going to happen now. I think we're going to see, especially on some of the rare samples and stuff, Kickstarter. I think you're going to see Kickstarter booster boxes. I have signed stuff. I think things like that are going to go up because there's going to be that people who want that history. And I don't know if it's going to stay up long, especially if someone now comes in and grabs it. That might be a good thing as on the collector end. Now, if you're a player, all kinds of ping. This is all MetaZoo stuff popping in. And if you're a player, I don't know. I think you're kind of done. I mean, you can buy what you can. You should be able to get it cheap. But I mean, you're not going to have more generations of stuff coming out. And so that kind of sucks. I'm hoping someone jumps in and grabs this. There's a lot of big names that have been working with Mike and the crew, and I feel really bad for the employees there. And be like, people like Texas Ted, Bob, a lot of these artists have been there from the beginning. I don't know what I have no idea what people are making money wise. I don't think it was a lot. I'm sure there's a handful that were doing well. It's like any business like that starting off. I know what I've heard from the rumor mill. The artists obviously left. They weren't happy. Something was going on there. So that's hopefully someone can come back in, go back to the basics. Hopefully bring back some of the original artists and build on that. Go back to what worked. Go back to the roots. You had a good plan there. Things that were attracting people like me in who had no interest in this, and you sold me, and I was doing my best to sell other people, always talking about it. So I don't know. I guess I just wanted to, I'm going to put out another video. I did reach out to Mike. I asked him. I said, I'm sorry to hear this, and he thanked me for the kind words. And I asked him, do you want to do a video? Do you want to get your words out? Because he knows I got a journalistic background. I'm not going to twist anything. It's 100%. And he says, not right now. I'll get back in touch with you. So hopefully we can get a video, a one-on-one, where we can talk, do a kind of a Zoom meeting, and maybe clear up some of the questions we have. So if you have questions, you want to ask, or you hopefully, I'm sure he's going to watch the video, put them in there, but be respectful. I mean, it's everyone's going through a lot of crap, and coming out of COVID, obviously COVID for MetaZoo was a good thing. Coming out in the middle, people were stuck home, disposable incomes, money coming in, and stuff like that. I think that the thing just worked. I mean, obviously I don't remember the numbers in front of me. He didn't get the money he wanted off the Kickstarter, but didn't care. But he was smart to send things out to people like myself and promote. I mean, beginning, everything seemed to be going right. And somewhere a left turn was made, and it's been one problem after another. And then, of course, just deadlines. I think the biggest thing was deadlines, and just everyone being frustrated, and Discord. I mean, I never heard of Discord, Twitch, any of this stuff. I'm an old fuck. And but I got into it. I was doing my best being in there. I'm always getting scolded. Can't discuss that in this thing. You got to talk about that here. It's like, what the fuck? I don't care. I'm just trying to get things out there. And so I think that the problem there were people being shut down. They couldn't have a voice. And of course, there's always disrespectful people. I have the same problem. I run a bunch of websites and Facebook pages and stuff for my stuff and other people in the business that I do. And there's assholes everywhere. And But I think the way it was run was bad. It became a kind of a hierarchy, and in my case, it didn't matter because I know what the hell I was talking about. And but it got to be very opinionated and very catty. And I think it was. I think the smart thing they did was kind of shutting it down. I think they should have shut it down earlier, but in steps. I think they should be doing more of this, doing kind of one-on-ones and just getting out and talking and being more of the face, and because people like to see someone, they like to see their expressions and how they actually react. And I'm saying a lot of stuff here. I'm just kind of thrown by this whole thing. I was really surprised. I know they're going through a lot of problems, and I'm still trying to get it in my head that it's kind of over. But I think if they put the paddles on it, get the right person, maybe they could pump a little life back into this thing. To get back into a big, major TCG, I don't think that's possible now, with the damage that's been done. But I think it can become a small niche thing that people would love. I mean, because it's it will work, it can work, it has worked. It's just, like I said, somewhere along the way, things just went terribly wrong. I think it was you have to blame the people running the people at the top, and something wasn't getting done. Somebody wasn't following through, and that's it. I mean, right now I don't know. I'm waiting to hear more. I just wanted to, like I said, I haven't done a MetaZoo video. Usually I do a video that's incorporating my investigation. I throw MetaZoo in on top. So for me to come out and just do a MetaZoo video shows that it kind of, I felt I had to. I've been here from the very beginning. I mean, I remember being on the doing some purchasing when Steve Aoki was out there with Mike busting MetaZoo Kickstarters, and they were signing them, and I was doing raffles there out of 36 packs. I actually ended up getting 3 of those. And Mike was even talking about Steve's, even, from the Cryptozoology Museum, and Steve Aoki even said, "Oh, is this? He's a real crypto head." I mean, so it was cool. I got this little plug. I mean, of course, the community was pretty small back then, and I still have those cards. And cards like that are things I'm going to want to keep. There's a little piece of history of our museum and MetaZoo, and that kind of And I guess it's kind of silly to feel a little attached to the whole thing, especially being that I'm the kind of the crypto guy, not the card guy. But I've been there with it. I've made it. I've gone to as many events as I can. I can't go, even though I'm from New York originally. I'm down in Littleton, North Carolina. I would love to have gone up to New York, but he did actually send Texas Ted down to our last our event that we did in our Lakeland Cultural Arts Center, and Ted came down, set up stuff, passed out cards, and told people about MetaZoo. And then we took him out bigfooting out at the Medoc Mountain State Park. We actually found prints. We had a sighting the day before, which so other videos you can go check out. And then we actually went back to the campsite, and Ted busted some boxes. We actually sat there busting packs while we were out doing a Bigfoot expedition, which I thought was pretty cool, and people loved that. So I've always been there trying to do the tie-ins, and it's just kind of, here I'm planning on going on the road, and I actually had MetaZoo stuff to bring along, to bring to some of the locations there. And I was actually going to offer to Mike, say, like, listen, let me go out there and be kind of your crypto spokesperson, and I'll go out there and just bring product and kind of drop things off, and well, that ain't happening. All right, I'm kind of rambling at this point. If you guys have any ideas or anything like that you want to talk, want to start a conversation down below, please do. I'm sure there's dozens of people setting up to do some videos here. Mine's probably going to be the least informative, or definitely not going to be blood curdling or attacking here, because that's not what I do. And here's more stuff coming in Discord. It's popping all over. But hopefully Mike will come up and we can sit down and do one last interview on. Hopefully I'll be in touch with Mike for other things, but one last interview talking about this. I'm going to pester him about that, and I think maybe we can clear up some things and find out what's going on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If I hear anything or anything more comes up, I'll let you guys know. I'm really curious to watch the market. I'll probably do a market one coming up next week or so. I want to see what goes up, what comes down, if it's just going to totally go to zero and crash, Or if, as they used to say, or is it going to go to the moon? And I kind of doubt that. I think we're going to see an uptick in some of the primo stuff. I think you're going to see a lot of the niche-y things, or silly things. I shouldn't say niche. A lot of the things that were like, you know, tied to specific stores, people, things like that. I think that was going to crash because they're not going to hold any importance anymore. I think it's going to be the original base stuff that's going to be the stuff that holds value. Sample cards, Kickstarter, things of that sort. The original things. But thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Everyone be good. Be good to each other. It's been a crazy world out there.